This podcast episode is sponsored by Palumbo and Bertrand, attorneys at law.
Good day, seniors and active adults. Welcome back to our YouTube podcast, Get Your Weekly Slice, where we protect, inform, and educate you, our seniors and active adults, every week about what you should know as you age. It is about keeping you, our seniors, in the know. This is Elderly Abuse Part 2. And we left off basically talking about elder abuse, how many people are aging today, the demographic of seniors and active adults, anybody over 65, how that growth population-wise is becoming almost 1/5 of the US population. So I'm going to begin this series talking about the vulnerable adult, which means a person 18 years of age or older whose ability to perform the normal activities of daily living or to provide for his or own care or protection is impaired due to a mental, emotional, sensory, long-term physical, or developmental disability or dysfunction or brain damage or the infirmities of aging. The standard for being vulnerable is not the same as competency, and no finding of incompetency is necessary in order to prove that a person is vulnerable. So I'm going to provide you 5 flags, red flags, for vulnerability. Isolation is one. See it all the time. Individuals who have in the past attended the Smarter Senior Seminar Series events, who live alone, mostly female as opposed to males, and they either don't have any friends, the only thing they do is sit at home and isolate themselves. It's not good. They're not interacting with people on a daily basis. They're not eating healthy. So hence, that's number one red flag in vulnerability. Cognitive decline, it happens because sometimes people who are isolated become depressed and they really aren't thinking. They're not actively exercising their brain, and they start experiencing some type of decline. Not all those type of people. It's people depending on their hereditary, their gene pool as to if their family, grandparents, parents, etc., aunts and uncles also experienced cognitive decline. Physical disability. People who are having difficult getting around, legs are giving out, either they're just giving out or they've had hip or knee replacements, shoulder replacements, they're having lower back pains. So any of those items are a red flag. Health problems, you can either have a heart condition, cancer, diabetes, any type of health problem is also a red flag. And the biggest red flag, of course, is the recent loss of their partner or significant other. Because they did everything together. They shared household responsibilities. And in most cases, that shared responsibility was not shared with their loved one. And the loss of that partner that they've been around, say 20, 30, 40, 50, sometimes 60 years, because we're living longer, can be devastating. So, those are the 5 vulnerability red flags: isolation, cognitive decline, physical disability, health problems, and the recent loss of their partner or significant other. Then we move on to exploitation. So in Florida, Chapter 825, abuse, neglect, and exploitation of elderly persons and disabled adults. It's exploitation of an elderly person or disabled adult means knowingly obtaining or using or endeavoring to obtain to use an elderly person or disabled adult's funds, assets, or property with the intent to temporarily or permanently deprive the elderly person or disabled adult of the use, benefit, or possession of the funds, assets, or property, or to benefit someone other than the elderly person or disabled adult by a person who stands in a position of trust and confidence with the elderly person or disabled adult, or has a business relationship with the elderly person or disabled adult. Keep in mind, exploitation is a felony.
Do you need help drafting wills, trusts, or administering the estate prior to the death of a loved one? At Palumbo and Bertrand, attorneys at law, we have the experience necessary to guide you through the process. We offer large firm services with a small firm feel, providing you with expert advice and creative solutions to the issues you face. Call Palumbo and Bertrand at 407-960-2835 and schedule your appointment today.
So, some of the main abusers, there's 3, and I'm sure that you might recognize or know of them prior to me stating these. But here are the 3 main categories of abusers targeting the elderly: family members, adult children and or grandchildren. Number 2, professional criminals, home repair scammers, and telemarketers. And home repair scammers are ones that you've called or they've knocked on your door to see if there's anything that you need done around the house. And number 3 is friends or others in position of trust, attorneys, bank employees, caretakers, or pastors. So those are the 3 main abusers. So the common forms of financial exploitation are: 1, changing the names on bank accounts. Don't allow anybody to change or add a name to your bank account. Cash withdrawals, that's a big one. Changing beneficiaries, another big one. POAs, which is short for power of attorney, which gives an individual authority over you in making decisions for you. Deed theft, it's another one. And foreclosure rescue scams. Powers of attorney can be powerful documents which give a lot of authority to someone to make legal and financial decisions. for that senior or active adult. The types of power of attorneys are general, specific, durable. Now, I will go into more detail when I present in a podcast form legal what you as seniors and active adults should know or be aware of, what needs to be put in place as you age. So I'll go into more detail on those three powers of attorney, and then investigate what's the relationship between the agent and the senior. When I say agent, I don't mean real estate agent. I mean the attorney, the family member who's representing you with that power of attorney. Are there signs of the senior and active adult having any mental incapacity or confusion? Is this transaction going to benefit the senior or the agent representing the senior or active adult? And then things to look out for: documents stating the onset of a senior's incapacity prior to signing the power of attorney. And then the agent's decisions to do not seem to be in the senior's best interest. So those are some of the things that you need to be aware of when it comes to the vulnerability of elderly financial abuse and the vulnerability of the senior and active adult. All these different types of examples will lead to problems. And the biggest problem is they can ultimately deny or stop that senior by enjoying their final days, years with money as opposed to without money. Because if they allow these people to take control of their finances, time and time again, it's not a good scenario. So I hope you will further look into part 3 and part 4 of the elderly abuse that happens, the red lights that are available out there. I hope you find some type of information within this podcast that will help you better understand what the signs are for you when you think someone's trying to exploit you. So again, keep in mind these podcasts are informational, and they're always about, just like the Smarter Senior Seminar Series events, are always about protecting you, informing you, and educating you as you age. In closing, I hope you enjoyed today's Get Your Weekly Slice. If you'd like to discuss further today's topic, you can reach me via email at mike@your, Y-O-U-R, Florida, spelled out, Haven, Haven.com, or call me at 407-340-5291 to set up an appointment. I provide a free 1.5-hour in-person meeting to discuss your future plans on aging while providing you a minimum of 3 options to choose from. Don't forget to follow us and like us on Facebook and Instagram. While on my website at yourfloridahaven.com, sign up for my monthly newsletter, RSV to any of my in-person events, which are held at the Orange County Library, Smarter Senior Seminar Series events, and to view any and all of my videos and podcasts. We hope these podcasts are helpful. And if they are, please share with your friends, family, and neighbors by letting them know what we offer as certified senior housing professionals, designated real estate agents, to our seniors and active adults as they age. We're a connector. It is about keeping seniors in the know. Till next time, when you come back to get your weekly slice.
This podcast episode is sponsored by Palumbo and Bertrand, attorneys at law.